Dr. Dilip sir, please stay on the panel because I think you are the most multifaceted person here out of all of us. So I was feeling very happy about my CV and my resume until I had a look at Dilip sir's CV, where he has more than a dozen degrees. So I was like, yes, he is the best person for our panel. So I would like to also invite Dr. Rudraprasad Acharya sir, surgical oncologist from Delhi. Is he here with us? Sir. Dr. Prabhakar Reddy sir, he is a HOD of clinical pharmacology from NIMS. I believe Dr. GVK Reddy sir had to leave for some emergency. He will not be with us. Dr. Sunita ma'am, she is a radiation oncologist at Yashoda Hitec City itself. Ma'am, welcome. Support lega. Last moment ela chesi. So we heard a lot. I was listening very, very attentively to all the talks that we had till now. Before we start the panel, I want to know: are there any oncologists in the audience, or everyone from a non-oncological background? Because now our panel is going to be a little bit about what we discussed already, and then we're going to do deep dive into the role of AI in oncology as of today and in the future. So I just want to know if anyone in the audience is from an oncological background so that they can also contribute to our discussion. Pharma oncology. Okay. So I think there's some technical issue with the presentation being loaded. Anyhow, I will start away. So starting with Dilip sir, as you were seeing all the talks till now, what was very striking to me is that all the talks that were happening were about the preclinical development of your drugs. But I don't think any of the speakers spoke about the impact of these developments in the oncology space. As far as cancer research and drug development is concerned, I believe it's Shilpi madam who said that no AI discovered drug has yet to reach even phase 3 trials also, leave alone being approved. And there's just one drug what is mentioned was Rentosertib, which has reached phase 2 trials, that too for lung disease, which is not a malignant issue. So I want to ask you, starting off, like if you have to summarize to the audience from the morning till now, so as far as oncology is concerned, how do you think AI is going to help in drug discovery? If as of today and in the future, how will drug discovery in the oncological space be impacted by usage of AI?
Yes, that's an excellent question. And finally, maybe I can stand. So finally, whatever the presentations we had, it should not be merely a theoretical exercise. Ultimately, it has to benefit. What is the benefit goal? Can anyone? What is the ultimate goal of all this presentation? Pardon? Very good. Better life outcome. Anything else? So who should benefit? Finally, who should benefit? Excellent. So ultimately, everybody is looking at what? Finally, the patient will get benefit. So what the earlier speakers have spoken was the early part of the drug development program, which you all know. Everybody said so many years are spent. And now with the help of the AI, we are reducing the timelines. So what are the timelines? In the earlier presentation, we have seen that the timelines dramatically reduce in the screening of the molecules, right from your selected target. We have seen there's a huge space of the chemical space, and how we can actually, what is available, how we can bring from that availability the lead candidate. That is the first part. Second part, some of the molecules what they're showing where the chemical doesn't or the structure doesn't exist, and where AI can bring all the goody things together, and can we make, so some are there, one of them in the phase 2 trial. Okay, so what is the advantage of the AI here in the drug development? We are reducing the timelines dramatically. Second thing, we are reducing the cost dramatically. And finally, what your question comes, yes, excellent. So yes, so that is the next part what becomes. So till now they have discussed about the drug development part, and now when we look at the clinical, how is going to benefit. So yes, so the AI can reduce the timeline of all the clinical trials by actually finding the patient and the genomics and the proteomics what we have, so that we have a patient. Now coming, when we evaluate or translate this knowledge in the predictive medicine. So now we have the product available, but then what is AI doing? Now the traditional way, we have a one protocol design for all the patients. Okay, and then eventually if you see the treatment, we will give for 1 cycle, 3 cycle, then we again evaluate and we see the what is the efficacy or the tolerability of the product, and we continue or we cut down. But the AI will reduce that. So AI will predict how I can actually select the patient. So AI model is not one drug for everyone. So we have a precision medicine coming here. So we have a specific medicine for the specific patient population. So that will happen. So when we discuss the clinical part, so thereby the efficacy, prognosis, the prediction goes up, and the most important, as the sir said, the toxicity, which is the most important in oncology molecules, that will dramatically come down. So we know there are a lot of good molecules. The patient is not able to tolerate that. Okay, and if we are able to predict that, then we can have a specific population, specific medicine, so that we can have specific product for the specific population, so we can save a lot of human lives. Because many of the oncology, what happens, because of the toxicity, a lot of patients succumbs. So I think so that will be one of the areas which will be a boon to mankind, and of course there's a lot of way to go for that. So I think so that's what summarize I can summary. Over to other speakers for that. Thank you so much.
Point well taken, sir. So what you mean to say is basically the promise is huge. We all know AlphaFold, the researchers won the Nobel Prize for this very promise of drug discovery. And yes, as far as the oncology space is concerned, it is yet to be realized. But what is on the horizon is that maybe the timelines will shorten, and you'll be able to bring more drugs into your preclinical phase, which used to take a long time. That will be accelerated now. So now that your drug has entered into the preclinical phase, sir, and now it is showing some evidence of efficacy in your phase 1 trials. So coming to Prabhakar sir now. So as far as drug development through the clinical phase is concerned, because you are this is what essentially you would be looking at, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trials in oncology space I'm talking about. So there, how will AI be able to accelerate things? We hear a lot about digital twins, so I believe we have a talk coming up on that. So anything in that regard, how will AI help in oncology drug development through the the different spectrum of the drug development?
Thanks for the question. So in clinical drug development, more than AI, along with the present technology, the phase of technology development, the clinical phase of development will be both AI and technology. The advancement of technology is going to play more role than AI when we talk about clinical drug development. Now, most of the times until now, we are more concentrating on how a PI or a sponsor or somebody who is developing a drug, they are keeping themselves in mind while preparing the process of doing drug development. So future is most like patient-centric studies. So now we have to keep patient in our mind while preparing the protocol, all these things. So time has come now. Until now we have heard of work from home. I think next 4-5 years we'll have our clinical trial participant working from home. You don't see him, you have consent. So this is how technology along with AI is going to help us. We don't see him. So then we have an e-consent. We make a phone call. He comes online. We take e-consent. We say, so now a PI, it's like recently we had ICMR coming out with a guideline saying that one ethics committee is enough for conducting a multicentric studies, like in India. The same it happens. A single PI will be there at a site like say Hyderabad. So now when we talk about oncology, for getting the participant pool, it's very difficult. The participant pool may not be coming all the way from various places to Hyderabad. So now what happens is, if you are a PI, you have sub-centers at, let's say, Warangal, Kurnool, Anantapur, where we have very good patients. And all patients don't come to Hyderabad for treatment. So we have a sub-center, you have a sub-center there. So you send the drugs, you have somebody there who can take the blood. So now technology is so huge that transport of samples is not a difficult thing. So, and most important for this is development of database of patient pool. So if all these things can come, the duration of recruiting the patients, suppose you want to recruit 20 people for your oncologist study, you need to have 10 centers, and hardly, when you talk about oncologist studies, at each site you may be having hardly 3 or 4 recruited randomized people. You recruit 4 people, only 1 or 2 you can randomize. So with this technology advancement and AI in place, I think it will be very easy to recruit the sample size very fast. No need to wait for 6 months to recruit 100 or 200 people. We can have very good faster recruitment. And another important thing is to retain them in this study. Most of them, once they come into your study, after some time they may lose interest.
Dropouts.
So to prevent this also, AI will help them in like giving them some tips, giving them some notes or what you have to do, like that, helping them out. So, and AI, this is out of what we are talking. AI has 2 functions now in drug discovery. Recently I was speaking with a colleague. So now everybody is talking, and from morning I am hearing talks where people are always talking about new drugs. This is one part. The other part where AI can come to play is repurposing of the present drugs. So nobody is talking this. Recently I was speaking with a colleague. He is saying that he is developing a program where the present drugs he can repurpose for various uses. So I think this is a new, I think youngsters are there. You can catch this one.
We have already seen
Repurposing
that
of
happening with like drugs like metformin, sodium valproate.
No, that's also, as I said, there are a lot of people are working on repurposing of the drug. And one more to your point about the patient. So I also work a lot in palliative medicine. So it has already started. Actually, we recruit the patient at, it's called the home-based. So home-based treatment and home-based therapy we provide. As I was telling, rather than patient coming to us, now is the era where we have technology, where we have AI, where I can monitor from the central site. So we are already monitoring the patient who are on site at far remote places. So that has already started, sir. So we are recruiting, which is called the decentralization basically. And we are trying to reach at the remote. That is one. So one part is definitely recruiting in the study. But second, after the study is over, until the drug reaches the market, there's a huge gap. Okay, so till that time is the critical part, how we can retain this patient, because they are not going to come to you. So they're at the remote site and we keep them connected, we can treat them and we can do a follow-up for the long term. And in oncology, we know the follow-up can go for 5 years, 10 years. And that's what we are aiming. So that is already started. So that's a good thing.
I think even FDA has called for public consultation regarding repurposing of already available drugs. I think at least last 4-5 days it has asked for some ideas from the public. So AI along with the advancement of technology. So now you want to, most of the drugs yours are stored at 2 to 4 or some temperature. How to send this? Everything technology is going to help us. You have, like sir was saying, decentralized. Now you are not a center. You have a center. Under you, you can have 5-6 centers around, and we can go to the patients so that we recruit them at their home. They are more comfortable. They are more likely to participate until completion of this.
Okay, moving ahead, Dr. Acharya sir. So thank you for sharing this slide with us.
Yeah.
Although the panel is targeted therapy and drugs based discussion.
I had 2 more.
Yeah, I will be
slides.
putting them as
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
and I will involve you in that.
Continuing with sir's talk on the investigations like for the PI. Now we have developed one this Arch Clinical Analytics, where in a hospital setting where we are using the EMR. EMR, everything is already there. What we are doing is we are having an Excel sheet, then we are doing the SPSS to find out the p-value. Now it is no more required. So this clinical analytics will drag everything from the lab, from the packs in the MRI, CT scan, everything it can drag. And then for the PI, it is very easy. Just the same UHID use, and you can drag the data, and because for everything you have to enter.
Yes.
And there is a sense that sometimes the PI can manipulate or change the data in order to suit the protocol or suit the study. But here, everything is original, including the surgical, if any device is used, then the videos will be uploaded of the procedure, so that everything is original. So you don't, there is no question of any data manipulation, and everything is in original. So this is how the things are going to change in the AI world. And so this has reduced the even in the decision making, tumor board decision making, because the data directly put to the PI for any clinical analysis, and the decision is made faster.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Because now there are so many treatment options. We know that this space has exploded. We know immunotherapy has become the biggest advancement in oncology in the last decade. But now we have a new era entering. We are entering into the ADC eras. So ADCs have shown transformative activity in breast cancers and lung cancers. We have so many TKIs. So how to match which patient to which drug is becoming a big headache. Because now we get NGS reports where the NGS report gives you 10 mutations.
350 pages, one report will come.
Exactly.
Now the clinician has to go through 350 pages. That is why I made this slide. Although this is again AI generated.
It's a busy slide, but
it gives you all the things, because the variant can be pathogenic, non-pathogenic, it can be benign, it may not be non-utilizable. Then along with that, biomarker, tumor burden, MSI status, HDR status. So many things are there. But when a clinical analysis happens through the AI, then it is just a fraction of a second. It just goes to make the 350 pages, and it will give you the mutation which can be clinically utilizable for treatment. Because there may be unnecessary, if somebody is doing 360 mutations in a oncotype DX, all the mutation may not be useful.
Absolutely.
But whatever is useful, it will summarize, and it will prompt the clinician to suggest even the drugs, and then a clinician can, the final decision is of the clinician. But from reading the 360 pages, noting down pathogenic mutations, then giving a decision, to instantly getting one answer, is a miracle actually.
The literature search which it can do in a matter of a few minutes, that is impossible for us to do over a few hours also. We had a case very recently in which a young girl who had a lung cancer, then it's metastasized to the brain. We sent a NGS on that, and it came out to be positive for EGFR deletion. Correct. It came out to be MSI high, TP53, RB1, there were 10 mutations. So we are in a fix what to do, how to do the literature search, and that is where I think in such complex scenarios, we can use AI tools to analyze those reports.
Few of the tools that has come up already, OncoRx is there. OncoRx uses the clinical data, and then it uses the ESCO guideline, NCCN guideline. Everything is already pre-feeded in the feeding layer, and then it gives a decision. And the another good tool is Onco KB, Onco Knowledge Bank. These are the two very good tools which is used by the oncologists.
Using these apps, the guidelines keep changing every 3 months, every 6 months. So so the app also gets updated. Okay.
App works on AI. And what happens, you also know, so it is called as the advanced AI deep learning. So what happens in this deep learning, the app is trained. For example, if some new information is coming on daily basis, okay, or some new mutation is coming on daily basis, the deep learning will itself power themselves to capture that data, evaluate data, try to search then if there is any other update coming from somewhere else, that will incorporate. That is one part. But second part, the deep learning will also evaluate whether what this update is coming is relevant, whether it is significant, and then it will post it. So it's very interesting tool. And if you have, there are some of this, the cloud AI which they have, Now their higher version is so restricted that the government is not allowing it them to give to everyone, because it learns so much advanced that it will start predicting so many things. But why we have to be careful? Because that is only a prediction. Okay, things can go wrong, because see, on based on this validation, if I make a decision that okay, now this patient is fit for treating with so many drugs, so that is a hypothesis, that, but nobody has validated everything, which is impossible to do that. So we have to be really careful when we are interpreting that, and there's where human intervention or the oncology intervention come.
Is some interesting? Yes,
Another
please.
point is, like this OncoRx and Onco KB, everybody, if more oncologists use, because you see, for getting them the data, it is not only what is available online material, it is more cases you use. Let us say I put 100 cases in it, the benefit goes to the next person.
It will learn from
So
this.
that is why both of them are trying their best to involve all the oncologists in India, because they want every oncologist to use it on daily basis, so that more data gets into it, and then you get the proper outcome.
That's what the slide says, sir. So, it's some real world evidence in AI oncology. So, a huge database already exists in the Flatiron database. And in a big analysis, around there was a 89% concordance between what the AI MTB recommended and what the experts recommended. And you are able to, if you are running in a high volume center where you have a lot of clinical trials ongoing, the likelihood of matching a patient to a trial also increases slightly when you use AI based platforms.
So AI is not only helping us. So AI itself is a learning machine. It self-learns. The more data you put in, the more precise it becomes. Initially, it may be giving you a large data, but the more precision you want, AI will self-learn based on the data we are going to.
Relearn and then give the output.
So more data we give in, more precise answer we will get.
It's very interesting in AI. So what I meant typically in pharmaceutical, when you do a clinical trial or something, then there's a QA department. Okay, they will come and they will audit. Okay, they will check the data. They will clean the data. So AI itself has a QA department within the AI. Very interesting. So you submit a data, the QA department of the AI will clean the data, will put a red flags that your interpretation this was wrong, and the AI will give a suggestion how can you, and then it will validate. So that's very interesting. Recently I had done something. So AI validated that, the AI gave the report, and then AI itself did a quality check, and AI itself said that this was wrong, and then they revalidated it. So very interesting. That's why I'm saying it's going in a very fast way, where it's very difficult for human minds to capture. Over to you.
As far as immunotherapy is concerned, which is one of the biggest advances as of today, we all do PDL1 as a routine testing for almost all our patients. But we have realized that PDL1 is a very imperfect biomarker. Even those who are high PDL1 might not respond. Even those who are very low, they might respond. We have already seen that AI tools are maybe better than pathologists as far as inter-patient disagreement is concerned. There are many new biomarkers on the horizon also. So we are missing a medical oncologist from our panel, but I think if you ask me, the T-cell inflamed gene expression profiling, that is the next biggest biomarker that we have on the horizon, and it is in that space where I think AI tools can help us to identify patients who might benefit from immune checkpoint inhibitors, even if we don't have the PDL1 data, or even if the PDL1 is negative as well. So moving ahead, we already saw the biomarkers, and of course, a lot of things going on, all in preclinical phase, multi-omic signatures. ctDNA methylation is a big thing, especially using liquid biopsy tools. Guardant platform, I believe, uses ctDNA methylation and predicts, even in cancer of unknown primary, it can predict by which percentage of accuracy you're dealing with which primary. So that is something which is very exciting on the horizon. And drug resistance patterns. So we treat the patients with the same drugs over and over again. Ultimately, patients develop disease progression. But what if you're able to pick up the resistance before it lights up in your PET CT? So what if you identify those new resistance patterns using liquid serial ctDNA, and then your AI tool integrates into that and tells you this is the likelihood of patient developing disease progression as per RECIST in the next 3 or 6 months. So a lot of things are going on. I want to also ask our radiation oncology colleague in the panel, ma'am, Sunita ma'am. So you are already well versed with our cutting edge MRI LINAC machine. You already use AI as of today in your adaptive radiation planning. Can you just summarize for the audience here how is AI helping you in uh, radiation planning as of today, and 5 to 10 years from now, what else will it be able to do?
Yeah. So adaptive therapy is the future of radiotherapy. It's no more going to be the similar, the same plan which used to go on for next 20 days or 30 days of fractions. So in adaptive therapy, the major problem is the time. The patient is there on the couch, on the machine, MRI machine, or even we have the CT-based adaptive therapy machines also, whichever machine it is. When the patient is there on the machine, you have to be very fast in terms of giving your target volumes and also delineating your normal tissues. So if you keep on doing it slowly with your mouse and brush and all, it takes at least minimum for a fast learner, it takes at least 1.5 to 2 hours for segmentation. But here you have a system where it gives in within seconds, within minutes we get all the structures. So from our side as a radiation oncologist, what we do is we sit on the system and we have to validate whether whatever the system has given it properly or not. So sometimes there are some errors which come up during this process also. Like we have seen, like maybe one was a rectum case. We thought like the rectum is a tumor, but because of the deep learning, it thinks that rectum is a critical organ which needs to be spared. So sometimes it does happen like that, and once we correct it, by the next fraction it learns that it is a tumor, and by the next fraction it gets corrected. So you have to be very vigilant each and every day to see whether it is giving you correct answer or not. So this kind of fast, and it is not only for the radiation oncologist, even for the medical physics team who does the planning process, they also, for them it used to take at least 1 or 2 days to do the planning process and all. Now because the patient is there on the machine, your time is very crucial there, you get the plans within 1 or 2 minutes. And then so hardly like initially we did have our learning curve. So MR Linac we used to take half and 40 minutes, 1 hour also for some cases. But now because of our own self-learning, now we are able to finish off the treatment within 20 minutes also from for majority case. And some complex cases, head and neck cases, where they are very packed and there is a lot of changes every day during the treatment and all. Those are the cases we are still struggling to reduce our treatment time, but they are also significantly reduced now by maybe half an hour to 35 minutes. We are able to finish off those complex cases also. But all the simple cases like the schwannomas, the brain tumors and all, it's very fast now. Hardly 20 minutes to 25 minutes for majority of the cases. So AI has really helped us a lot, and for if you have to do adaptive therapy, you need to have AI, otherwise it is impossible for us to do it in a faster pace.
What about the immediate future, ma'am? 5, 10, 15 years, how do you think it will evolve even further beyond this?
I think maybe it will be within seconds, maybe in future. Time has to come down. And then the major limitation what we have seen is sometimes if you have a larger area, those are the areas where suppose the volume is more than 2000 cc and all, especially those head and neck complex cases. So those are the areas there we find little bit of nuance with the system, because sometimes instead of parotid you see that the medial pterygoid muscles will be contoured and all. So those are the areas maybe in future it will do it much better. And that is the thing. I think it's more, it gets more precise and more faster.
No, all that is very good, sounds hunky-dory, but every new
no, it's
technology...
not hunky-dory. We are already experiencing the use.
So that I'm just, coming to the last slide. So just before we close, I would like to ask again Acharya sir and Dilip sir, both of you can opine on this. So like any technology has its own drawbacks and pitfalls. Do you see in the Indian context, Indian scenario, what are going to be the key ethical challenges and limitations of adopting this for in the field of oncology specifically?
So there can be, as you told, once we put a NGS and the treatment what it suggests, it may not be the right treatment also. So it can be biased on different type of reports. Even I don't know whether the companies can manipulate the AI to make their
It is possible.
tools,
Yes,
tools
yes.
or their drugs more coming, be like
Yes.
in Google, if I search Yashoda Hospital, Chinnababu is coming in number 1. The same way, somebody can manipulate the AI to get their molecule to come in number 1.
Absolutely.
So these biases can happen. So that is why the oncologist come into play, because the oncologist is seeing the patient, knows the whole story, but uses the AI for a reporting, and then uses the gives the treatment protocol. So bias can be there, information can be wayward, and it can get some other information which is not related, and it is showing that you do this, do that, which may not be related. So all these these are called AI errors. So AI errors can happen, and if there is a problem, then who is accountable? So
Absolutely.
if the oncologist has taken a decision, it is accountable. AI cannot be accountable.
Yes. So bias, inequity, I think, and data security, as you said, are the biggest challenges you would see. Anything to add, Dilip sir?
Yeah. So I always tell on a lighter side. For example, when a baby is born, the Indian tradition we do a lot of horoscope. Okay. Now nowadays you have a lot of AI-based horoscope. You feed the data, the horoscope comes, and it matches. Okay. So AI should not be like that, because AI have all the data. If you put all the data of the baby, okay, and the AI will predict all the genomics, all the proteomics, all the RNA, DNA data, and it will create a blueprint, everything. Okay, but word of caution. So it cannot be like horoscope, what I want to say. So, for example, when we do a small clinical trial, when I want to claim that this product is effective in so and so indication, everybody says that we need validation for that, we need a clinical trial for that, we need follow-up for that. But when we are looking at AI, it predicts so much, but are we validating every claims? No. And that's why AI, you have to understand, AI is a tool where it can guide you, it can give you some of the data, based on the data what it has been available, and based on the data what AI thinks, based on its deep learning and intelligence. But ultimately it gives you something which a human or an oncologist in oncology field or in palliative medicine, we have to then validate that, how much it is doable. Because the other huge unmet medical need, for example, when we say to a patient, because being from oncology background now, palliative medicine, when we say the patient, now you are treated. Now, if you seriously think on what basis we say them you are treated, only based on the scans, and so there is not really anything which will predict a minimal residual disease level, and we really don't know, isn't it, which patient is going to relapse. So it's huge unmet medical need, and whether we are also working on something called the metabolomics, where we can really predict based on the AI, where we can calculate the MRDs, or AI can give us the direction in that. Is huge unmet medical as on date, and huge things to be done in that field. So these are the limitation, and this is the way forward.
Absolutely. So I would like to conclude the panel by saying that ultimately it is the human strengths which still holds paramount. Clinical judgment, empathy, communicating with the patient, handling tough situations, and understanding what the patient also wants. And AI can help you to analyze large data sets. It can make things more efficient, as we heard, both in drug discovery and in drug development. It works 24/7. It is more efficient than humans in some regards. So the sweet spot is oncologists should use AI to provide faster, smarter, and more personalized care. Thank you very much.